Hola, my lovers. It's MJ from Auto Love TV, broadcasting live from my bedroom. Um, I hope you're doing really great. Happy weirdest energies ever of whole of life. I'm MJ. I'm an author. I published a book in 2016 called The Fearless Life Guide, an Auto Love project. I founded Auto Love as a website and an online brand back in, I think, formally like 2013. And I've been like working on the Alta Love Mish ever since I was in my mother's womb. No, probably not. But I've been intuitively guided since I was 19. It's been almost 20 years on this crazy ass spiritual awakening journey, and it just doesn't fucking end. Which is actually really glorious and beautiful and part of the exquisiteness of life, and also the intensity and the depth of our power, like our emotional field, our spirit essence. A lot of that kind of gooey good stuff has been denied our beingness for maybe thousands of years. So this whole this whole reality that we're living through together is, I feel anyway, I speak for myself because that's what my YouTube channel is about, me speaking from my perspective. But for me, straight up, like my whole spontaneous spiritual awakening was about paradigm shift, and then I was intuitively guided because I knew deep down in my heart love that the world was going to go through a paradigm shift because it like literally couldn't survive on the trajectory that it was going, as far as like greed, control, domination, divide and conquer, pointing fingers at everybody, like enslaving people to get shit. And it was like the heart. And so hello to love. Rich in the house. Christian is in the house. Rachel is in the house. Hello. Oh, Roots, my darling. I really you're wearing the cutest shirt in a recent share, and I really want to check it out. Yeah, I shall today. I just finished watching a little bit of Adrian, and I sometimes am not fully like, I just put her on in the background when I'm getting ready in the morning, and if I'm honest right now, I'm like, I have no idea what she said. It was just lovely Adrian's voice in my earbuds as I was getting ready to go live on Auto Love TV. So holla, if you're new here, welcome. We are an Auto Love, Hot Love, Vibrashe community of, I'm really starting to get over the labels, my lovers, but people who really care. And for the most part, a lot of the people who resonate here are empaths. We're born and raised an empath. We didn't suddenly become one 2 days ago. It's an empath has as many. It's like, oh, well, that's what part of the noodle before I came live was. I was like, what is empathy really? Especially because like I've had a chat with a friend about, like, man, some of the worst, most attacky sites are so-called empath sites where they're like, they're a fucking narcissist or whatever. And I'm so there again, it's just any energy where we're like, you did that to me. See this pointing a finger? No. Open your heart, open your mind, and have a conversation. And so many cool quotes have come up about, like, that are relevant to the empath journey about, like, be really mindful of people who think you're arguing with them every time you express your opinion, because ultimately, if they think you're arguing, it's more than likely that they're being triggered by something, and there's an unconscious root in them that they don't want to look at. So they're like, why are you arguing? Like, blah, blah, blah. Also, like, being able to have an intellectual or heated debate is an aspect of our intelligence. And if we can't do that, and I've been there, so I'm not saying that, as in when people would say something or put their point across, I would sometimes get triggered. Hence, the book is that one time in my past relationship where I really loved the guy and I totally fucked up my relationship prior to that. I didn't want to fuck it up, and I got triggered by something this person said to me when we were in Cambodia. And I can remember, like, again, this is probably about maybe actually like about 6 or 7 years well into my yoga career and practice, and like been meditating for a good like while, 4 or 5 years regular meditation, and then learning manifestation, and we're on the fucking tuk-tuk, and he says something, and I react in such a way where I'm like, whoa, this is it. And he, of course, had no idea what the fuck was going on. I was just like, he triggered some kind of sense of overwhelm and like a deep unworthiness. And that was the moment. That was like the huge rumor of like, there's something here, i.e., our ability to hold space for when we get emotionally triggered and process a whole bunch of fucking emotion, like a whole bunch. I cried in Angkor Wat. One, I'm pretty sure I was getting like a resonance field from the actual Angkor Wat, and like I kept getting waves of like enslavement and pain, and I cried and cried and cried. Like a good few hours passed. The poor guy was like, just go take photos. Like, I'm no good to you right now. And then went to like this little river, and probably maybe a good solid 2 hours after, the tears passed, and I was just like, hence like, so that was at the end of 2013, and then that was for me personally. Although nothing, I don't think any of us are here is like groundbreaking, because we're all infinite creators, so it's all already been done. So it's like no need to get egotistical about it. But that was a piece for me that sometimes was missing in my personal spiritual reality, and sometimes even my own spiritual teachers along the way, where I was like, "Where's the deep fucking emotional healing, yo?" And yet, when I write in the book, like I don't necessarily think that everybody has the same way of processing stuff, right? And then I'm like, I mean, like in fairness, that we all have emotions, and if there's no feeling emotion, that's when we talk about things like sociopathy, or like people being psychopaths, is that they're completely devoid of that sentience. So it's like, as a humanity, we need that sentience for our survival right now. So now as a kind of flip, so part of this community of hot lovers is that the journey for an empath, what I would notice for a lot of us is that we've often felt like alien, like we don't belong, we don't fit in, we don't want to be here. Often when we were little, people told us to like stop crying, or like, what's wrong with you, or you're too sensitive, like you need to fucking toughen up, or you need to blah blah blue blue. And dare I say, like a lot of children, the stew of the emotional shadow. I mean, look at the world right now. It's like we can go this way or we can go that way, but we have to choose that for self. And I'm somebody who's saying, how about we don't give our power away to some really fucking scary bullshit? How about we heal, which is usually more intense than any of us want to admit, and rise and take a stand for what we believe in, for self and other. You feel me? As like, if not who, you. Like, and it's that thing of like, don't do what people tell you to do. Do what you want to do. Believe in yourself. And this is so relevant. So one, holla to all the people who be planting gardens and doing all that good stuff. I do it too. Like literally everyone in my world right now is planting gardens. And so I'm like, oh, food in abundance. Like we'll be able to feed ourselves. What a joy. And like, that is really, really fun and beautiful. At the same time, the layers of the depth of density being processed on the collective is pretty intense. So how are you guys doing over in the United States of America? Michelle, I actually made it the tribal call. You sure did. Good morning. Good morning. Do 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 do. Good morning. Good morning to you. Do you know what? So I've been running this YouTube since 2012. Some of all y'all started to trickle around my world into YouTube about 2014, and then a few more 2015, 2016, and then the beautiful, yay, fantastical quarantine until May 15th. Holla! Has that been, Christian, has that been, what am I trying to say? Like, is that what they've said? Hey, Paya, how are you? And T Will. Wagwan T Will. So T Will, for some reason, your name is making me think of somebody who showed up on the live share one time. What was his name, you guys? ice wallow, I think. So you can imagine what it was like when I was like, "Oh, hey, ice swallow." Then the it? I think they might have been like a little bit of a troll vibe-ish. I'm getting better. I deleted it. Andy P's in the house. Hola. It's pretty standard around the entire United States. Yeah. And then somebody here asked me, like, is it the same in Canada? Is it the same in the United States? I'm like, mm-hmm. Like everybody just has to stay inside, basically. Quarantine till oh, wicked. Paya, you're from India. Amazing. Nice that you're here. Welcome. Quarantine till the 3rd of May. What day is it today? Wait, I should look at my computer and see. So it's the 17th of April. Shit. So that's like a whole more month. Right, Christian? What did you say? The 15th. Good, because I've got some appointments on the 20th of May, which I'd really appreciate being able to go to. Ronald. Hey, Ronald, how are you? Oh, really? Okay, some states will open. It's been, I think we're coming to the culmination or like the height of the manifestation. Is she? Of course. Ronald, China representative, so beautiful. What's up? Um, I love that. I've had this is what I mean about the quantum mind and like being connected. And also, if you're new here, this community practices things like telepathy. We haven't quite got to the teleportation. I'm still noodling with that one, but defo telepathy. And that's something like I've definitely noticed. I'm not like a singer or anything like that, but like the more people who started to like arrive. So a girl named Aluna Ash has a Wicked channel, and she shared one of my videos back in 2018 called The Event. And it was like kind of one of the most wild internety things that happened because I was like going around London, England, just like visiting my yoga clients and kind of almost in an exhausted like pioneering the online stuff. And suddenly I woke up and there was like 400 emails, and it was like, and I can't, and there was more. Like every time I checked, there was like 10 more, 20 more, which has never happened, right? Roots. Oh, that's how I found you, my love. But yeah. So back in 2018, that's we're just having a bit of a review. So she shared it, and then it suddenly went up and up, and I was like, "Ma, what's happening?" And then, thanks to Aluna, my channel went. Any of you guys, and lots of you do have your own channels, right? Sharing stuff. So, yeah, after Luna shared, I hit the 1,000 mark, and then it was sort of like, okay, it's like I'm gonna be okay kind of thing. And then 2019, I hit financial collapse. Luna shared another video, which boosted me to about where we are. And but you guys have been around. It feels like this has just been my life, but I can't even sort of quantify like what's what's happened. I'm just like happy to be here, happy to be alive. Welcome to All Love TV. I hope you're all doing okay. um, the video on the event, nice one, Christian. And either way, I'm just grateful. It's an absolute joyful pleasure to meet you all. And like Rochelle's been around for yonks. Tim Redding, John Gini, quite a few people. Again, found me just really sort of intuitively and naturally, and I have to honor just. And any of you guys know, if you're in business for yourself or if you've been freelance or if you've had spiritual awakenings, it's fucking lonely, and it can be really like super duper intense to and this is a wound for a lot of the empath community, is like we've had the depth of suicidal thought or even attempted suicide to the point that a recurring inner experience for the emotional empath is like really not wanting to be here, like it's too painful. So that was also part of my desire to share, was that I found sometimes like a missing link between the spiritual gurus who are teaching all of the teachings which have taught me, right? And yet my awareness of what I call it the karmic backlog, which is to me our lineage, ancestral codes on a cellular level, and then our own vortexual karma, like our own past lives or just quantum experiences as a soul body. So like we have these few different aspects of the kind of human organism complex that this generation or this current shift to me is all about our ability to heal the density, like the distortions of truth, which is very much connected to the system of control and domination, and people not acting in integrity, i.e., people behaving in such a way that like oppresses or enslaves or what have you. And it's my firm understanding that the large majority of humanity is totally innocent, and part of the awakening experience is also awakening to the deception. And it's recently I had a longstanding client who beautiful soul, super unpopular, but very much shall I just scratch my ass, maybe our armpit, and pick my nose at the same time? Yeah. I'm spiritual. So a recent client, but like beautiful, empathic, but very much indeed like that's the politic and this is the world and the news tells me what's going on and blah 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 blah. And just recently, it's like I'm fucking angry. I'm like, there it is. So like now we begin, like the whole collective who's been like, that's those leaders are there in the banking system and blah blah blah. And I'm supposed to be a good little worker bee and fit in. This is all coming down. So a lot of us that had awakening experiences 10, 20 years ago, what have you, now is happening for the broader collective. And boy, oh boy, do we ever want to be shining lots of love. And like at the same time for this community specifically, I was always expressing where I'm at for myself is that we've got to choose ourselves, my lovers. You gotta, and I just say all the same stuff all the time but in different words, in different ways. Like if anything, it's like shut off the news and look around your direct experience, look into your own heart and figure out how you can love yourself better, how you can taking care of business. Like how can you take care of your business? I.e., clean up those gardens, plant some seeds, get some pots for your apartments. Like take action in the positive directions, i.e., be the change that if you want to see like more beauty, more love, more peace, then become more beauty, more love, more peace in self. This is what we can no longer deny as a species, is that our thoughts and emotions are creating our reality. And so if we're all like fearful and panic, look at look at what we created. Oh my God. Like people are like, well, I have nothing to do with this. The governments and the fucking overlords and the reptilians. I'm like, or we we the self are the fucking god projector of our own reality, and we can keep denying it. Abu, abu, like pointing fingers and denying that we have emotions that are creating our world, right? It's just not super duper obvious. Oh hey, so quarantine is just a stopwatch thing for me. Yeah, fair dues, right? I know I found you before I even knew about Alina Ash. Hola! Yay, Rochelle. Yeah, Rochelle, I just found the comments, and then like when you share certain comments with different people, it's just good to question. And I appreciate yeah, like I appreciate the huggles and this loving support, right? Who wouldn't? I want to read Paya. But also happy to see nature is healing, isn't it? Like, oh, every day the air seems to feel a bit clearer. And I said, I think yesterday, the day before, I had this pretty profound meditation on the beach a few days ago. And I, like, for sure, it was like the ocean was talking to me, like, legit. And ultimately, these are the moments, yeah, a lot of you guys will get what I'm talking about. Like these are the moments where just words fail me. Like the words can't describe what was going on in my field. And I'm just like, oh, meh. Because I was like in this meditation journey, I suppose you say, like going into the depth of the ocean. And then this sense, but also like a visceral oneness connectivity of like, you guys, like the ocean and nature is just so perfect, like so divinely coordinated perfection. Like this is it. This is a huge part of the shift. we're not separate. Like part of us as empaths woke up because we saw people harming innocents, trees and the creatures, the animals, and we're like, oh my god, I can't do it. Like I couldn't abide. I can't just go along with the fucking crew because it's too painful, right? So those suffering or kind of trigger points of awakening experience are a big part of this new world that we're all creating, i.e., hot love vibration, and not some fluffy woo woo bullshit. Like, so many of us, I think, new to awakening or self love, are like, yeah, fucking blue. And that's part of why I wrote the book, was like, no, it's fucking real. It's just so real that the truth shall set you free, and that anyone around you who's in denial of aspects of their own truth, there's going to be some shit going down, because we're um again, when you understand quantum physics, or you understand vibration and manifestation, to a certain degree, uh, you can you can really feel it. It's just like an undeniable sense that, yes, I'm the only one perceiving, and thus this whole reality that I'm perceiving is my own. And if I don't like it, I'm responsible for cleaning it up. There's no and Ooh, there's a lot of thought moving through. Holla, good morning, coffee. Hi, Kev. How are you? What's gonna when Sal picks me up today? I don't know. What's gonna happen? I'm supposing you're asking, right? There you are. Hi. Yes. Okay, so sorry, Kev. We'll come back to the read. So, and this is a polarity. Okay, so we have all these fear agendas, like moving through all these fear layers of the world's going to be a big brother, blah blah blah. And then, in fairness, and this, I also agree with this. I'm like, they don't need a fucking microchip. We know this. Like, we don't need a microchip for them to track us. We're already being tracked. Holla. And this is part of also, like, I share where I'm sure. I'm like, there was a part of my own awakening experience where I realized, like, you can't hide from yourself. You can't run away from yourself. None of us can. So people with malevolent intent, or people who are going to track us and do some bullshit, it's on them, my lovers. Remember that. If we're all creating our realities, the people that are doing some bullshit, they're going to get some bullshit thrown back in their face. We can just keep shitting our shit out our asshole. Oh my God. No, but this community can process their emotion, rise themselves up, and hopefully not slip in their own shit. But if you do, we're all going to be there to help you clean yourself up, right? And this is a big break for the empath community, is the absolute profound recognition that we can't do the work for other people. They have to do the inner work for self. It's impossible to do it for other people. And so this mass awakening is literally our ability to ground into our center, our power, our intuitive knowing, and hold space for above us for the people who've been in denial, or I don't know, denial. Like, you can't, again, I'm not here to point fingers or know where everyone is, or like know stuff. I'm not really interested in that. It's literally just like, and now I'm doing this. Kiki squad. Anything good could happen? Like, give me some good news. I try. In fairness, the high priest just come up. So, um, oh, interesting. God, the cards are so funky. So what was it? I'm like, yo, you're the creator. So when Sal, what's gonna happen when Sal picks me up? It's like, are you getting an intuition? Because high priestess is like, you can sense it. We can feel. And like, that's a big part of, again, the empath rising. It's like, really locking in the living intuition, basically. So not giving my power to other people to make me doubt. And if I know something, I know something. And there was a time on my own empathic journey that I would have felt fucking guilty for that. I mean, there's a lot of shit that I'm now able to say that I would have been like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I won't do it anymore. I won't do it, because our light, I guess you could say, or simply our emotional awareness, it triggered people around us as children, where they would often say that, like, why are you crying? Like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong with you? And then the empathic then thought that their reaction was also their problem. So I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'll make it better. I'll stop crying. I'll stop being myself. That's what that was, right? So, but this isn't just like us special hot lovers, or the people doing spiritual work. No, no, no. It's just all of humanity. That all of the human race is moving out of the dark ages, aka Piscean age, and 3D perspective. We're quantum leaping, holla, from a 3D to a 5D. And for most of us in the empath community, I would say we got born into a 4D, and we're just like, "Ugh, ah." and then and then if we tried to fit into the 3D, we'd end up suffering toxic patterns that would be killing us, and we'd be aware of the fact that we were killing ourselves. And so we'd have to choose a better path, like healing, like yoga, like something to be like, I need to get fucking real because I'm be killing myself because I can't fit in. I don't know how to fit in. I can't. If I try, I'm just killing myself, and I can't deny my spirit. So I gotta, you can go your own way, go your own way. That's what we gotta do. We gotta go our own way. But you can only go your own way when you know yourself. And that is, something for all of us. But on a global, or certainly, on a human level, one thing that we're certainly coming into recognition of is our the fact that our thoughts and feelings create a reality. Unfortunately, more and more of us have accumulated experience and direct experience, and enough people around us to be like undeniable. And part of the leap that we have to be able to make in our own consciousness field via processing deep emotional wounds is that it's not our fault. I'm not the ignorance or the stupidity or the apparent numbness of our common humanity has to do with deception. It's sneaky. But think about what's dark. What's the shadows and the dark? It's manipulation, it's deception, it's lies, it's cheating, it's stealing. And on a global domination level, i.e., the structures that we have in place to like apparently keep the world going round and round and round, a lot, if not the majority, is based on that deception. No, you're not connected to God. Shh. You're all alone in this world, and you have no power, and the only way you can access God is by following my rules. And then if you don't follow my rules, I will kill you. And last night I even had the recognition of we still have to own our creations. So like I realized that too. I'm like legit lovers. If we ever do any past life stuff, it's like you still, even if it was like some persecution or like really dark shit, you still have to own that as your own creation. And that's where humility comes in. That's where like it's only ever a relationship with ourselves, right? So we either keep expanding and growing, or we end up in shitty patterns. And toxic base tone patterns will keep getting worse and worse until we shift them, walk away from them, heal them. Or, base tone patterns get worse and worse and worse until it triggers the suffering gets so bad or so deep that we leave, i.e., like a soul contract, or we shift. We make a change, be the change. But even there's a program. People are like, change is difficult. No, it's not. We're changing all the time. And in my awareness, either you change when intuition guides you to, or you let the universe fucking force it. Like, and that was also my awareness. I'm like, this change is coming. Like, just because for some of us it was 20 years ago that we started to have these realizations that this so-called world is like really, we're in this wild dance. We're in this really, fucking weird energies. But so I believe there was a deep intuitive knowing within any of us who had these awakening experience whenever we had them, that like, so truth within the unity of self is undeniable. So I know or feel in my heart space that any of us, for example, that are aligning or to have a desire to align with something like all to love, deep down, they know it all already. So I've been sharing my journey with all y'all lovers. I don't want to tell you what to do. I have faith in you. I have faith in all of humanity. I have faith that humanity is going to make the right choice. I have total faith and trust that, like, If any of if any of anyone can do it, anyone can do it. You know, like, we're powerful. Our mind and emotions, and a huge deconstruction of law of attraction teaching for me, again, bringing in the emotional piece, is that you can't talk about mental health and not talk about emotional health, because it's the emotional body that cleans cellular density, i.e. trauma, emotional trauma that either we've inherited from our lineage, or we absorbed in this life. You're self-created and other created, it doesn't fucking matter. If you're carrying it, you're carrying it. So you have to be the one to clear it. You have to be the responsible one. I'm sorry to say that, my lovers. At the same time, I'll be like, just don't take the shit on from people. Don't give your power away. If your intuition tells you does not go out, don't go out. If your intuition tells you to set up a YouTube channel, set up a YouTube channel. You know, if your intuition is not sure, step away. Don't go in that direction. It's and when I say the trust and faith, it's because I'm developing more and more trust and faith in self. I'm beginning to learn about my own intuition. Intuition doesn't people please either. It just like knows stuff. It knows the truth for self. Because there again, I can't speak my intuitive knowing onto other. I can only know my own intuition, my own self within self. I can't imprint it. I I shall heal you. No, no. You know, we in the presence of our own faith, people can be healed. In the presence of our own ability to see the love and divinity in the entirety of the creative field, that is our healing energy. So we can either like the whole space and be like, humans are such dicks and so stupid, and look at, we're gonna all end up creating this state, blah 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 blah. Or you can just be like, Care Bear stare, we got this. Let's love ourselves and love everybody like up level, and actually have faith in one another. And just like, let's get out of the rabbit holes. Like, you know what I mean? The infinite fucking rabbit holes of this is what's going on and this. And like, and there again, I'm like, but actually in my journey, the rabbit holes were useful as long as they were useful, you know? Oh, vision of truth. That's the process. That's exactly essentially what I'm talking about in the, so when in an emotional state, sit with it, feel it. I.e., the often what I see in my, I witnessed in my own self was that I was reacting against, pointing to some, you know, you're not, you need to step in line so that I'm not getting this anger. And yet I saw it destroying my relationship and flipped it. So I started owning my anger, realizing that there was all this shit in there. And transforming my body, my physical body, required me to really look back at my food, and realizing that a lot of my underlying food stuff was to do with shame and guilt in my physical body, to do with the fact that I absorbed a lot of self-loathing, self-hatred via my lineage, and I had to outwork those emotions. I had to get to the bottom of them, right? To get to transform them. So, and that's the heavy duty. That's the heavy duty inner work. What some people call shadow work. The reason I don't call it that is because I dare say that a lot of empaths, if you're like me, you've been unknowingly doing shadow work most of your life. Because of my awareness, I was often somebody who didn't want to put on, like, I was just like, every sometimes I say, like, it's like, yes, the empath, like, anyway, it's not some special thing because we're all part of it, right? Um, but yeah, we, because of our point of attraction, we often won't feel comfortable putting our negative emotion on people because there's so much of it around us. We would retreat and just cry and cry and cry and cry. And so, and because I was somebody who got teased a lot, like my sister, or like people would be like, "You're so sensitive." Like, oh my god, Molly, like, why are you crying again? It's okay. Like, try to get to this. So like, there's the learning, the early onset learning for any of us who are like, no, 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 don't feel stuff. Don't be human. Don't be alive. Not fully anyway. And then, no. Oh, maybe I can take this out. I gotta get to Kev's reading. I wanna go up to Ronell's. I have been so now I'm going up to Kikosa. I've been feeling like I can't avoid what happens tomorrow. Well, you can so wait, let me come back. So this is intuition, okay? You've asked about like what's gonna happen with Saul tomorrow. And just my own point of attraction is like divine guidance, loving clarity. I don't know. Like I'm not going to lie to you either, right? I'm going to say this is like um you being here in the here and now, and this journey that you're on is really about you getting to know your intuition. And so, again, in my own personal learning intuition, there's a lot of polarity in the learning. So some beautiful experiences, but here's the thing about getting connected to the intuition. Are you meditating every day? You know, are you spending time in quiet reflection? Are you journaling? Are you getting clear on what kind of thoughts are going on? Right? So I would say, instead of like, what's going to happen or who is that? Da, 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 just, and only because you're here, my lover. And this is what I talk about, is like, just spend some time getting to know yourself, which is the same. There's a similar theme occurring here. In do you take CBD oil? No, I'm not actually taking anything right now, but um, since the big shift for me last month, I've just been being guided. I've been eating really well, like being creative. I mean, I'm pretty sure yesterday I had chips and fucking vegan pasties, um, but I've been a lot more creative in the kitchen. OMG, I made 2 or 3 nights ago. I made, my mouth is watering just saying that. So like cabbage, broccoli, or no, sorry, cabbage, cauliflower, peas, loads of garlic, coconut oil, cider vinegar, salt and pepper, oregano, and basil, like all cooked up. Oh, and I think I put some cannelloni beans in there too, and quite a lot of cider vinegar. So sort of like a Mediterranean um, heated sauerkraut or something like that. Like it, and it was delish. So I had that, and then I think I cooked up some like, what did we have with that? Oh, maybe we had it in a wrap or something. So I had the cabbage like veg dish, and then this, any of y'all can try this because it turned out good, turned out real good. But we had kind of makeshift really colorful vegan roast because it was mashed potatoes, that veggie dish I speak of, and then I had a vegan burger. Like, and I think my friend had a vegan sausage or a few vegan sausages, and then gravy. So we made like a really delicious and colorful vegan meal. But check this out. Sometimes I'm like waiting for a song to come. Check this out. Money we bought, blah blah blah. Isn't there like, anyway? You guys are usually good at letting me know if there's some random song that I'm singing. I've added a few songs. I've not added all. I've not been able to keep up necessarily with all the songs everyone's sharing. But if you're really wanting for a song that we share together to feature on the playlist, you can. So I'm just gonna share with you this divine uh, mashed potato. So I'm not a fan really of the sweet potato vibrashe. I might have like a sweet potato fry from time to time, but I just don't like sweet potatoes or anything in the yam family ultimately, or squash family. Nor do I like mushrooms. Just saying, if any of you guys ever want to make me dinner. so the delicious little cabbage and, oh, cauliflower. Did I tell you? So cauliflower is like my new fave thing. I'm putting cauliflower basically in everything. And then again, the Mediterranean kind of like, my mouth is watering because it's vinegary, and yeah, kind of like a vinegary but well balanced dish. And then so the point is, it's the mash. This is my creative fleur vegan vibrage with mashed potato. You guys know how to make mashed potato. I'm somebody who will keep the skins on the potato. I mean, in fairness, with whole food, the point with this, the reason of its being whole is that the food have sort of um, the whole food has a property. So when you're eating, are you hungry? Maybe I am. What are you gonna do about it? So a potato, as in potato stuff, I'm talking about potato because that's my fave. Um, it's more whole, and we can get more benefit from any of the nutritional value of potato from the skin as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Cauliflower can make a decent piece of crust. Yeah, and this is something as well, like way back in the day, in my early veggie vegan time, my mom used to make cauliflower mash, which was essentially, well, what it sounds like. And then now what I'm finding is that loads of the vegan, gluten-free, all the different, I want to say paleo or something like that, like, or raw cauliflower is being used for a lot of different vegan dishes. So I could look that up, or any of us could look it up. Can make a decent pizza crust. And that's for I gotta buy some cauliflower. Well, it's really nice because it absorbs like the flavor kind of thing, and it can kind of mold itself into different textures, i.e., like the pizza crust, which obviously is really good for people who are celiac or gluten intolerant. I'm not. I'm quite a fan of the bread. If you feel me. So, but let me just share with you my dish. So my intuitively guided mashed potato. So, and bearing in mind, I like to keep the mashed potato, so it's a little bit of a lumpy. I'm selling it. It's like a lumpy mash, right? Uh, but my seasoning for the mashed potato was a substantial amount of coconut oil and coconut milk, like the creamy canned coconut milk, i.e., butter and milk, which makes extra creamy mash. And then, so that's my kind of thickener, creamy creator. And then, but if you don't really like coconut, you'd have to find an alternative. I'm a huge fan of coconut stuff and flavor. And often I find if you blend it like correctly with the right ingredients, it you can kind of um, not have it be so coconutty. But so yeah, coconut oil, coconut milk. You're so beautiful, Kevin. Kiki, literally, I was just thinking about you as well. Um, good subs, yeah, for sure. Um, let me just get to the mashed potato because it was so glorious, and both my roommate and I were like, "Holy shit, this is some good stuff!" Like, because I wasn't, it was just intuitive. I weren't expecting it, right? Kiki, I reckon, and one, straight up legit. I'm really thankful for the donations that you're sending in. Like, so that is one. Thank you. You're helping me out. But also, I ascertain usually in this community, if you're here in earnest, that kind of comment, it makes me giggle because I don't know why I'm asking this. Because you're in service and you're asking for the whole community for whatever reason, the questions can trigger certain aspects of responses that could be relevant to somebody that we don't even know that it's relevant for. H is in the house. Good morning, Hannah. How are you? I love the coconut too. All right, so got your mashed potato with the skins on, coconut oil, coconut milk, and then turmeric. So add in the turmeric until like the potato blending is basically yellow, or not yellow. What's the other? Yeah, kind of bright yellowy orange. Salt and pepper, maybe a little bit of cider vinegar if you fancy it, and blend like a MoFlo lover. And then you have the Maddie. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you, gorgeous. So yeah, so basically like a turmeric mashed potato, but with the coconut undertone, there was like a little bit of like sort of sweetness, and then you add the turmeric and the salt and pepper, and my mouth is watering. So, holla! Thank you. Oh my gosh, you guys. So, I was awake until 1:30 yesterday. I haven't been up that late. And I woke up the night before at like 2 to watch some constellation in the sky, in the star, in the sky. Um, I'm like, was that a good move? I'm not sure. Do any of you guys do her? Oh, look, because I think Maddie put. Oh yeah. Okay. So Ron, Kiki, I'm gonna come to you about. Shall I give him a hug? But definitely, I don't want to forget. There's a little comment up here. Absolutely, only slaves have no choice in the outcome of their lives. Right. Okay, that's good. I just wanted to see that and read it properly. I spent 3 hours on the phone last night with a husband who's just woke up and got cleared yesterday, as in like the spiritual awakening, and you did a clearing, like you did some healing on them. That's something as well. Any of you that, and I would say a lot of you will be are call are be are MD make a word good. um, yeah, I would say the majority of this community are. healers on some capacity, i.e., just the ability to hold space to give other permission to heal themselves. And thus you are being called or you will be called. And I could never dictate how that's going to look or work for you, but it's more to do with, and this was sort of confirmed slash affirmed by one of you guys sharing a piece with me about like a spiritual career, which I don't like. I don't do the definition ultra love. I'm just myself, and like ultra love is the brand and blah blah. And yet, yeah, people then reflect back. It's like, oh, you're spiritual. Oh, you do all the love stuff or blah blah. So I would say like most of us are channels of this new earth energy, and thus we embody that and we are guided to how to make it work in the 3D, in the physical reality. Did that make any sense at all? So you can let me know if it didn't, and because it's okay if it didn't. I'm used to it. I'm used to not making sense. I want to pull, so intuition was about what's happening with Saul. You've asked a question, Kiki Swad. You said, should you give Saul a hug tomorrow? Do you know, right away I'm hearing no. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, here's the thing. I feel as though just be present and wait. If he leans in and wants to give you a hug, you can receive it. But all this feminine energy is really triggering to me or feedbacking because you have Queen of Pentacle, Queen of Swords, and the Empress Hala. And I feel intuitively this is very much that energy of keep yourself protected, honor yourself, love yourself, keep yourself in a safe space. You don't like, you can just be present with this person. If they want to give you a hug, they can, you know, but you don't, if you don't want to give them a hug, don't give them a hug. Because right now, Queen of Pentacles is looking down at her pentacle. She's not looking out like giving more love to people. The Empress has her staff. The Queen has her sword. You busy. You got your shit going on. You know, it's interesting to me that we are so overly concerned sometimes about, and I do it too, which is why I'm like, holla, it's not a dig or a judgment, is that we, you know, we so easily give our power away so quickly, can like want like the affection or want the love or not realize we have these underlying things going on, you know? That sounds glorious. It is, it was. We ate it all joyfully as well. What the fuck does this mean? I bloom in the slaughter like the flowers of the dawn. I'm for some reason, so I don't know straight up, but I'm noodling. I'm getting I keep seeing like the poppies fields, you know, like the poppy fields, like essentially these beautiful flowers make manifest in the midst of like war. Oh wait, direct translation. Oh wait. Chic, FYI, you give back, you give loads, and you live your truth. You know, that's where it's at. This is obviously just where I'm at now. Right now, I'm like, you give enough. You just keep giving to yourself, chic. Just keep giving to yourself. No, don't you worry about getting that, you know. And because we give here, that's part of the weird like egoic outworking is that like our natural god-given gifts are is our service to, i.e. our career, our purpose, what we're here for. Mm-mm. This is what you came for. Mm-mm. Something in the way she moves, everybody's watching her but she's looking at you. um okay, I need to give back. Ronald, it probably, oh my god, you guys, we're on a bit of a super chat fire. Uh, so I don't know. I bloom in the slaughterhouse like the flowers of dawn. I just keep getting something about the slaughter is a pretty strong word. It sure is. Direct translation from a Chinese saint. I can't make sense of it. Mm. So this is like a Chinese saying that I bloom in the slaughter like the flowers of the dawn. And the translation to English is I can't make sense of it, but it hit me in the gut. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. This is a huge, oh God, it's so useful, you guys. Um, and that's something else I'm really, and I recognize in these last intense cycle completion, coming to the end, it's like this idea of a sense of mastery, all of the deep, intense emotional processing has been part of our soul's learning. And the point I talk about in the book, the surrender knowing, is invaluable. Like we are so, and a lot of spiritual teachers talk about it, but like we're addicted to thinking. We're addicted to being right. We're fucking on a mass level being addicted to protecting our own fear. So doing this emotional work, the hit me in the gut thing is a lot to do with my own personal empowerment journey of not listening to my thoughts, especially the ones that don't feel good, and listening to my gut, listening to my feelings, like paying attention to the infinite expanse within. And it's the this is why some people, if they're not necessarily present, they're not necessarily going to understand what we're talking about, because a lot of stuff that I'm translating is like um a sense, a feeling, an intuitive knowing. It's not necessarily obvious. Plus, I'm not interested in controlling people, and thus I'm not. It's because there's also energy in the collective of like just tell me what to do. Like, well, how do I become this, or how do I do that? Just tell me what to do. There's an apathy, right? And that's another big part of the crux is like, well, I can share some insights or I can share some experiences like any of us can, but if we're all unique, then the journey of awakening is going to be unique as well. Hello, Christian. You guys, thank you, thank you. I am so, oh God, I'm lucky. I'm not gonna cry, even though I'm premenstrual. I'm almost cried earlier, but that's okay. I cried a lot last night as well. What was I crying about? Ugh, love. I'm, my brain is called ultra love, and I'm like, fuck love, man. But I mean more the old paradigm whirlwind romantic falling in love, because the people I've fallen in love with, which have been considerable in fairness, um, want nothing to do with me, which, as you all know, feels fucking great. And yet, my practice, how annoying is this? My book is like, you gotta own it, transform it. I'm like, God damn it. Although I'm really aware of the fact that we all know this, and I talk about it in the book, like, so our thoughts and feelings create the reality. And like collectively, we all know boys and girls get together and talk shit about each other. Like men are bamba, women are, and that's gotta end the lovers. We have to come into unity space, which we talked about yesterday, the day before. There's no ism. And I can firmly express to it really is our own personal belief systems, because what I recognize is that even in the feminism projection, I'm realizing like no, just like I've given my power away, or I've devoted myself to the men in my life or whatever. I mean, I'm finding a few like true kind of historical contextual um pattern that's more dominant for women and men. Like there is definitely that, but I mean, all in all, the way we treat one another we've all been deceived, we've all been made slaves, and thus we're all coming out of that. And it would appear that as a human race, as a human species, part of our ability to evolve is this empathic perspective, um, which which is a feeling sentience to the connection of the unity piece, right? So the more of us who hang out with more empaths, if suddenly we don't feel like a fucking alien, we don't feel weird, we don't get ridiculed, we don't get pointed fingers out, we're actually accepted by one another, because you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about, and you're not going, Molly, could you stop crying? Or could you just tone it down, right? Or could you just brush your hair? Or could you, whatever it might be, could you just, because I spent my whole life trying to please everybody and I'm damn tired of it. Like, I'm like, I'm not here for people to tell me what to do. When I'm in emotional storm or sharing that, I'm not here um, for people to say like, "Oh, what's wrong with you? Why you're crying?" I'm here to go like, "Guys, this is a process. Let's embrace our emotions." That's all. Also, because I see how when we repress our anger, we fuck it. We will destroy the relationships we're in. Especially, that's something as well. So as we have a lot of anger. We've been deceived, you guys. We gave our power away to a shitty fucking paradigm. When we start to realize that, it's like fuck it, right? And that's part of, I'm an Aries. I've had loads of anger, loads of explosive anger. Partly my tears were realizing that, oh no, that's going to be the last image that person has of me, of being just a scary, angry bitch. However, what I realize is like it's still healthier to express your anger than repress it. In the last couple of years in my clearing, I recognized fully that I was acting out people's unconscious. That's why it's annoying for me as well, because people don't understand that. They think I'm a fucking liar or da da da. I'm like, no, like I've healed the most of my own personal disempowered anger triggers. Hence why I was able to publish the book in the first place. And then after publishing, I had two experiences specifically where I was being manipulated, lied to, um what have you, and I had, or somebody trying to bring me back into like an abusive situation, and I just was like, it was almost like an out of body experience, or not to make you frightened, but it literally felt like an entity taking over at me, and I was like, and then I would notice what was happening and like drop the phone or whatever, whoever I was talking to, be like, oh my god, why am I doing that, right? Why am I fucking so angry? And then only after reflection, once I got out of those situations and I wasn't being triggered and I wasn't having these loop-de-loops of being anger and then feeling ashamed and I'm so guilty and why am I angry and blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, oh, because they're lying and they're repressing their own anger, and they're put and they're lying to me and keeping me and manipulating me, and I'm getting fucking annoyed because I can't see clearly. But I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Well, I can see clearly when when I'm not surrounded by people who lie. But here's the thing, you can't control somebody who wants something. This is where the empath gets to own it. I know why I ended up in those situations, and there was a part of me that was trying to get something, and that's how they were able to control me. Now, I don't blame myself. I don't blame myself because, in fairness, the situation I'm speaking of specifically right now is the fact that it was an innocent wanting. I wanted. I was having a little bit of a childhood fantasy, wanting so and so to get together. I was doing a little bit of matchmaking, so there was an agenda on my behalf. Hence why I got in the situation I got in, and why I was being controlled for so long. However, I also see on a higher level how that has taught me about energy and how honed we want to be with our feeling sentience, because that wounding, that empath wound of getting triggered and feeling guilty and getting served by just making other people feel good is except a lot of people that we're serving aren't. They're privileged people who have more every capacity to do themselves. And ultimately, if we're in an environment where we're becoming low energy or we're becoming sick, we're being abused. Because again, for me, the obvious fucking it's clear as day. I'm in now a situation guided by the great fucking universe, and I'm in a situation now with another empath who has a lot of similar stories, just like all of us here have a lot of similar, different, great. We have energy similarities, right? There's a certain connection that we understand about that. And then I'm hanging out with one here and it's like, holy shit. We've all like integrated some pretty profound learning and have a really, really direct experience understanding of how energy works. And thus I'm grateful for everybody. And for real, legit, like I wouldn't run a rush or force anyone to do this inner work ever. I'm not interested. People will come to their work in their own time, just like all of us have. But mostly, holla for myself and oh, yo, lovers, let us find that joy. Let us permission each other over and over again to be free, to be in love with ourselves, to be fully fucking in love and unconditional about the totality of who we are, and encourage one another to be responsible and own the darkness, transform the darkness, and let go of grievance. Right? I'm not holding grievance, or I am. I still process pain about losses, about mistakes I've made that are bittersweet. Here they come. Because I lost people I loved, and that's a tough pill to swallow. And at the same time, I do fully trust in the divine, so it's like, holla, I'm not going to dwell on that too long. I've been there long enough. I still feel like Kiki. I wanna sing songathon. Holla. Facebook, Instagram, send me a DM, and I will answer questions that you might have. Amazing. Holla, you guys. Love it. Hey, Natalie. How are you? So Natalie's asking some questiones. Tell us about China. Appreciate the connect. Ronald lives in China, so nice one. Natalie, and you need to find. Well, in fact, I'm pretty sure Ronald is that name on the Facebook as well, and on Insta. Anywho, so I trust that you guys will connect. Yeah, gone are the dark clouds that hide me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 bright new earth. Oh, I get it now. I was looking at Christian's comments being like, I can see all obstacles in my way, right? Okay. Because the rain is gone and it's going to be a bright sunny day. Oh, cool. Great. Okay. And then I just realized you guys are spouting the lyrics. I res with your perspective about acting out others unconscious. Right. And yet, there again is one of those things that people will be like, yeah, okay. Like, I don't have anger. And like, this is the thing is that like, I can feel it. Or people will have told me, like, I had a healer and like, I still have a lot of anger towards my mother. And then I'm like, and then especially because it's, again, it feels so like something versus when my anger triggers would come up, it's like a burning heat and rage within my central pillar, right? And then I process it and there's all this wounding underneath. The last two times I had these like explosive anger things come out of me. As soon as I disconnected from the person, the anger was completely gone. But I was like, oh my god, what just fucking happened to me? Like, what was that? What was that? As in, it was coming at me, and it was me going, almost scaring myself, being like, what the fuck? So it took me a little bit of inner noodling to be like, wait a minute. Yes, that makes sense. So there's a double fold there as well. There's another aspect of my own intuition, higher self protecting me from reentangling and going back. And that one thing I'm speaking of specifically, I remember 3 times I tried to engage this person, and every time I just delete, like try to hang up and be like, what the fuck, what the fuck. Okay, fine, I'll have a chat, and then and so by the third time, eventually they're like, I don't want you in my life anymore. I don't support you. You lie. You're not this, whatever, right? And then they said like, I don't want to support you anymore, and you can send me the shit, and and that was it. And then I spoke to I called my mom in that moment and started like burst into tears, just being like, mommy, 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 I don't know why I did this. I just like screamed. And this person was like a really good friend. And I was like, I just like screamed and like uncontrollably at this person, and I'm so ashamed. And why did I do that? And da da da. And it's because they were trying to get me to go back to somebody who was like essentially abusing me, lying to me, spying on me, all that. They're like, you have a soul contract, you need to go back. And I was like, no. And then I called my mom, being like, mom, I don't have to go back, right? Like, I don't want to go back. And she's like, I won't let you. So I, as an adult woman, not knowing what the fuck was going on, I had to call my mother to make sure that it was safe for me to not have to go back and feel responsible for these people, especially their shameful behavior that made me feel unsafe. I'm like, that's not my fault, right? But there you go, fucking empathic or like emotional abuse. You're constantly like, what? What were we talking about? But I thought, i.e., when we ask for some of our needs to be met and they go like, why are you blah, blah, blah? How dare you ask for me to make any fucking change? You bend over, bitch. Like, and we're like, okay, sorry, sorry, sorry. I'll do what I'm told to do, you know? I.e., the rising of the slaves. Hey, John Beanie in the house, and Tina in the house. Hello, you all. Why are you angry all the time? Oh, yeah, and that's another thing, H. I'm curious when your birthday is. I mean, it doesn't matter. We're not, all our astrology. And I I'm not interested in like people are like, I never have anger. I'm like, really? Are you lying? Maybe. Or have you not tapped that? Because there was plenty of time in my where I was just like, love and light, everyone. But when I got real about my own transformation and got real about my manifestation and got real about like this world is gonna fucking change and if nobody else is gonna talk about it, then I'm gonna fucking talk about it. And often what I like I noticed, and I probably noticed even from like people commenting here, is that this is also part of my own like women's studies and like understanding the paradigm from that regard. Why we have like so much repressed emotion is partly to do with giving that power away, right? I just lost my train of thought completely. Something about why are you so angry all the time? Oh yeah, and that was something that I always that like just kind of like upset me a bit sometimes, where I'm passionate, right? And I speak my mind, and maybe not everyone gets it or blah blah blue, but like it makes sense to me, and like I abstract a lot. I philosophize. But I'm not. I'm nor am I necessarily that attached to it. It's passing all the time. Surrender, knowing. My favorite space is silence. Peaceful silence and grass and flowers and the sea. It's like all this stuff is fun to talk about, to go over, to share the journey with lovers. But I would never want my own attachment to my own words to get between the hot love vibration. You know what I'm saying? However, and this is the thing that has often like kind of muddled me or tripped me out, where people be like, why are you so angry? And I'm like, I'm not angry. I'm passionate. I want to speak my mind. I want to get I feel this sometimes. I feel this way, and people would often perceive my what I felt as like passion and excitement and like fierceness. People would be like, "Whoa, whoa, you're so angry," and then I think to myself, "Oh no, this is not anger. You would feel a substantial difference if I was angry." Like a fire breathing dragon rise up to 10 feet tall and blow your house down with the fire coming from its soul. That's anger. Like getting impassioned when I'm speaking is not anger. And yet as the kind of rising whatever, but I've had people project onto me that my passion or that my just expressing stuff, they're like, whoa, 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 like calm down. And then you're like, oh, don't call me. Like there is those sort of more collective female burdens, just like there's the collective burden for guys who don't cry, men who can't cry, right? Like there's some kind of nobility in not crying for the masculine. And then for the feminine, it's like, oh, you can, I guess crying is acceptable, but being angry and having a voice that's too loud, that's not that acceptable. Like really you're supposed to just smile and look pretty. That's the only role for you. And then be possessed by a man so that you can make babies for the breeding, blah blah. Yes. Oh my gosh, John Beanie. So have any of you guys, and I imagine quite a few of you have any of you read the Celestine prophecy? by hey Ox Roxley. Great handle name. It must be love, love, love. Doo doo. Um, so John, interesting. Um, so light body activations are becoming more visceral, more present. I feel that this is part of the quantum leap that we're in as the empath community, like vibrating the leading edge, is that we're merging with the higher self aspect. It's legit happening. And then what's triggering the remembrance of what book did I just read? James Redfield. Oh, Celestine. Yes, thank you. Celestine Prophecy. So the Celestine Prophecy talks about the light beings. It talks about Jessica T. Holla! Big hugs, girl. Um. So first spiritual movie I watched in 2012. Is it a movie? I didn't know Celestine Prophecy was a film as well. Might be worth a watch. So in the book, I only read it one time in 2003, I think, like back in my early awakenings. Like, so I don't necessarily remember, but the gist, of course, was all about the stuff that we all been talking about. And and again, it was one of those books that I read that I already had intuitively been visioning and seeing and working with, as in like the light body, which has only just become more conscious since 2001. 2001, the Twin Tower stuff was a trigger point for a lot of us, like as in we started to awaken and see through the veils. And then mostly we've been either healing, coming into integrity, and then processing and in service to the collective awakening. Which again is just where we sit on this great galactic ride on Earth. You know what I'm saying? So either way, there's this aspect of the Celestine Prophecy of beings of light that like are literally like shiny, like sort of angelic beings. And when I read that, I remember like intuitively being like, I think that's true. That's what I feel in my essence is like our the beings, right? The light beings. And so John, your comment about like seeing your hands light up, I'm definitely feeling a similar like it really is happening, i.e. we're really beginning to like merge with the quantum self, embody the quantum energies and vibrate the new earth. And like, because it's not by chance that everyone in my direct community or like inner circle vibration, because I know that like not every single one of you necessarily is planting gardens, but a lot of you are. And you guys know that Divine Sight shared her whole like so like superpower vibration, but like transforming her whole garden, planting enough food certainly for the whole family, if not more. One of her other community, like another kind of heart lover, also massive garden. And like again, when she was sharing her so enchanted like magical garden, I suddenly had a moment of like, fuck, that's enough food to last all winter. That's enough food to feed a whole community. That's because like, at the end of all the fucking fearful propagated drama and the complexity of the military war complex and the economy and all these whatever, at the end of the day, here we are, human beings with our feet on the ground, and we can either look at our direct reality and improve it to the best of our ability and like be kind to each other and share and make sure everyone's looked after and got shelter and got food and got water, like, and just stop with the shit, stop with the, yeah, but that's the economy. Or we've always been at war, so we're always going to be at war. Or be in the here now where you ain't at war. Understand spiritual teachings that the only war we're ever in is our own inner battle with self. It's our own inner connection to God. Do we put that plug back in, or do we continue, running around like headless chickens, pretending like that we're not connected and the world is falling apart and we'll be fucking wicked, like, ugh, I'm like bored of it. You feel me? Heard someone say once, I have to keep it short. I'm meeting a friend to go scream in a forest. I feel like that would be a fun thing to do, though, actually. You guys know Bjork, right? It's so quiet and so peaceful until da, 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 you body sing. Oh, oh. But anyway, part of Bjork's story is like I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Bjork grew up in like Iceland or maybe like Greenland or one of those kind of Nordic countries, and she grew up quite like in a remote maybe village. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong here because I really am not sure. But from what I recall, anyway, who and you guys, if you've ever heard Bjork sing, has the most unique and like just incredible, like you just quite awesome. And the story about her bio with like how she learned to sing was just like going out into the ice, going to the bare lakes, like where no other humans were around, and she just sang. Like she just sang her spirit, and now the whole fucking world knows who Bjork is, kind of thing. Um, and and Andy, dare I say that things like screaming in the forest are as valuable healing as anything else? You know? Do you guys get that? I think that. I'm like screaming, crying, raging, rolling around in dirt, touching plants, getting our hands dirty. This is our healing, my lovers, you know? This is then the collective healing. So all we can do is be that. Yeah. Here's what I do recognize in here, and all I can do is reiterate that I say with as much love and compassion is that as we continue to empower self, when we step into our power, oftentimes, and this is part of the gift for the empath community, is me outworking this stuff within self, is that when we start to step into our power, a lot of people, it triggers their wounds. I know we want people to be happy for us or we want people to support us, but we're not always going to find that from people, especially people that we've established in pattern on a certain base tone or a certain level. If we are healing a bunch of stuff and they're not, it won't keep meeting. And even worse, i.e., emotional abuse patterns where somebody's lying about how they feel or lying about what they're thinking about or just not aware of it. So again, no pointing fingers. It's just an energetic dance. It's an energetic dynamic that we're up leveling, right? Um, so the light, i.e., when we start to really empower ourselves and we own it and we're on it and we're feeling good and we're da 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 da, as much as we would hope or want everyone to be like, yay, look, MJ is so much happy in himself. That has not been that's not been. I've had people to my face, like long-standing friends, be like, "You're not happy. I know you're not happy. I can tell." I'm like, "Actually, I'm like happier than ever. Holla, I'm doing what I love. I'm finally fucking feeling free and joyful in my body after 30 years of self-loathing and hatred. Like, I'm doing what I love." I publish about like, why on earth do you think I'm unhappy? But then I realize it's their projection, right? And yeah, so sometimes our light or our sheen. Imagine shining light. You shine light, you embody great amounts of self love, or you embody um, a kind of transformational elixir, and that energy will often trigger people's wounding, which then, if they're not aware enough, they can project that onto you. Oh, hi. And like, and again, somebody who can look back at a lot of experiences and realize that was what was going on, except as a wounded empath, I would take on people's judgments as something's wrong with me or they don't like me. Why don't they like me? What? Why don't you love me? And then I just started to realize, well, I'll just keep loving myself to the best of my ability. I'll just keep loving myself. And now I'm like, no one's going to come and take that relationship I built with myself away. And often when I tried to go back to situations of the past, that's how I knew more of a deep layer of what was going on, was because I was spending so much time loving myself that I could feel that whatever was going on here, this ain't love. This is weird manipulation and we're not meeting anymore. I can feel it. we're in two different worlds, and we're not meeting, we're not seeing eye to eye, so I'm just gonna break the cord, I'm gonna go. And like it's that classic thing as well. Like by last year it was like, and certainly now after my little fucking Bristol experiences, I am choosing myself. And like I know that sounds selfish to people, but I don't give a rat's because I know the life that I've lived and I know the point of attraction that my heart sits in. I know what happened in my spiritual awakenings. I was there. Nobody else was. So I'm not going to run around trying to make everybody believe that I have a kind heart or a compassionate heart because I know the life that I've lived. And I'm fucking damn tired of people who don't like themselves trying to make me feel like I'm a mean bitch or that I, you, how dare you speak your truth on YouTube? How dare you write a book about fucking emotions without a university degree about the subject matter? How dare you? I'm like, well, guess what? I dared and I did it. What you gonna do about it? Oh, nothing. Because I can go away and leave those situations. And that's the power we have, my lovers. But make no doubt, your whole life will perpetually shift and morph and change, and it's going to be a wild ride. But fortunately, the more of us that do it, the more of us that are here for one another who want to do it. You feel me? Wait, is that a person? Or I just saw someone's handle said rolling on the floor laughing. Where is that note? Oh, and then what John Beanie, I feel my hair so feeling so much introvert with a louder voice. I bumped into exercise bike and it said we can't walk through siege episode. I said so cool, that would be a superpower. Oh, yeah, the walking through John Unity Mind. That is something. Okay, wait, I'm jumping to Andy P's. Totally, screaming is awesome. But we want it to be grounded, anchored, and present so we don't hurt the throat. How do they do this? Right, fear, envy. Yeah, I know. And I'm sad, but we all know those emotions anyway. So it's like it makes sense. If we felt them one time, then other people might feel them against us, and that's okay. We still love them. Just don't get invested in that person. And then, John, I also had something about an awareness of being able to walk through objects. Um, as in that is like another power that will eventually come online. Sort of the kinesthetic stuff, or is that the right word? Like Stranger Things, like our ability to like move things with our minds and da 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 da. That to me is part of the um grade. Now, I mean, it potentially could take hundreds or thousands of years for our humanity to rise that way, but and I would say we're still in the bridging phase, so we still have a lot of cleaning up to do vibrationally, physically, on every level. But as we get into the cleanup, eventually, then the more pioneers will be, setting up the schools and the tools and the practices that are going to help us upgrade into that vibrational responsibility. Thus, no need for the control systems no more. Thank you very much. Off you go. Right? Because there's no real sense of security externally. We come into sense of security within self, which means as a humanity we're moving to harmonic convergence where we can essentially step into the new timelines, which we'd be doing now, straight up legit. It's happening now. Holla, welcome to New Earth, everyone, where we're all just a little bit happier and we know how to look after ourselves and we care about each other and we look after the planet as well. And it's like more fun. Holla holla, but it's like celebrational sacred fun rather than distorted hedonistic scary fun, because that's not fun. You feel me? I'm like, I went out as a party girl, and like I do what I was told, and I fit into society, but deep inside, I was in shame, and I felt like I was actually killing myself. And I ended up in really scary situations. So on the other side of that, I'm like, thank God I'm still alive. And also, I know that, and we feel this as an empath. You can go into an environment where everybody's drinking and having a folly, fantastic time, but we feel insecurity, uh, envy, we feel lostness, confusion, any number of like shadow shit that our collective mainstream has to pretend they don't feel because they're such good fucking robots and you right like hello. Oh, Well, someone else has done that before as well, and I love it. Now watch the nips. Boom. What did I just say? How ma NP, you our higher selves have the best senses of humor, like for sure. Holla. Stop saying holla. Get your freak on. Get your fucking freak on, my lovers. Like, it's like one of the kind of Manachia crew who's like, you could be weirder. And I'm like, thank you for the permission. Because there's no going back to any of the other stuff of like, hi guys, I'm MJ. I'm the founder of How to Love. Like I could try, just um the dork in me appreciates the dork in all of you. And FYI, isn't dork a great word? It's like thimble or succulent or moist. Certain words just tickle me a little bit. Oh, have a great day, Vision of Truth. Vision of Truth, I gotta say, I honor you. And I'm sensing now as well, Vision of Truth, you've been around for a while as well. You and Rochelle and John Beanie, y'all been in some of the originals. So I really, really, really appreciate you vibrationally finding your way into my reality because it has it I love you and I'm so grateful for the fact that you enjoy being here. Long time lover here. That's for shizzles, manizzles. You know what I mean? Do you know what a dork actually is? Oh shit, Kristen, what is it? No, I don't. Now I'm gonna. Should I look it up or is it some rude? Is it rude? So no, I don't really resonate with that at all. I should more than likely stop using. Although socially inept, contemptible. So this is awesome. I'm an author and an intellectual academic. I don't even fucking know what the word dark means. What is even contemptible? What? Like that society is I'm like, we're all socially inept, which I mean like is kind of fair. Like I do feel that way sometimes. But contemptible, I feel like people have felt that about me. How dare you? It's okay, I'm a dork. That's why I love that word so much. You feel me? God, I'm getting to that point, my lovers. I'm getting to that point where I'm like annoying myself. You feel me? I'm just purely here for you, my lovers. Ooh, hanged man. Okay, so we're basically like this is the collective card pull right now. Basically, we are we are just suspended in this hanged man energy as the collective energies awaken and rise and love. There needs to be a lot of love. And this is part of, I would say, why we all be here is like part of our showing up here with each other is like reminding each other to stay grounded, self love, self care, garden, go outside. You know, I don't know what the rules are, but still go outside, please. You know, and I say that for myself because yeah, I'm still healing from the depth of distortion and lessons in Bristol and even just being in a city for 6 months. So the call to get my energy restored is like go in the sea, even if it's fucking freezing. Go to the beach, and I must say as well, the yoga meditation has like has been like next level. I'm not even sure how long I'm sitting in meditation, but there's some good work being done, that's for sure. I'm just looking at Rochelle's comment. Christian, it is a whale's penis. This is what she's saying about a dork. Is it also that? Hey, I'm down with that. I resonate with the whale and dolphin energy. You feel me? I just am like you all are the best. You're the best. Oh, it's um like only the coolest community in the world hooks me up with my own sweatshirt because I can't afford it. This is uh one of my lovers, Lorna, hooked this up from birthday after I sort of moaned about the fact that I couldn't afford to buy my own products. And then she was like, I'll get you a sweatshirt. And then it arrived, and I'm like basically living in it every night, going to bed, sleeping in it. I feel like making love to it. But then I got this out as well because I know you guys like the green too. Oh, watch the nips. Oh, watch the nips. This shirt is sort of becoming a little bit disheveled. Oh, I feel like a dork, you guys. Even though I know I'm not. I know that I'm not a whale's penis. uh, oh, Mugga. So my space cadet didn't quite get Andy's clever comment about no pun intended. I'm like, I just sidestepped that because I'm not sure what she means. And now I'm like, I just got it. She didn't see it coming. Get it? No pun intended. Oh, you, all of us bunch of dorks. Hot love vibration. Rocks, Oxley, right? Like, oh my god, my oh my, like, what is actually happening? Dork is also a strange term because I used to always be called a dork. It means that you're brainy, but and it gives you a. Well, I felt me too, Rochelle. I always related dork to being like an aspect of nerdiness, which I like the nerd vibration, if I'm honest. And I like res with it because I get nerdy about shit, i.e., like spiritual ancient teachings. I'm like, there's some juice in here. I've got to try to figure it out. And it's all come, to be, as in like the science meets the spirituality, and you're like, oh, bam, this shit is for real, and we got to rise above the illusion. And we do, and we can, and it works, and we're transformers, and we're alchemists, and we're infinite blah blah blue. It's just that we need to speak it into existence. Yeah, Ronel, I love that. This is nice. I've been working on a new living source, love, reality, this time of transition. Ugh. For some reason, that makes me like cry, almost like a feeling of relief and gratitude, a sense of like such a loving matriarchal energy is literally like i- like this time of deep reflection. It's really beautiful. Interesting. Easy to H, massive dorks. Yeah, at least we can laugh about it, right? So yeah, I always thought that the dork expression was something to do with nerdiness. So thank you, Christian. Consider myself a writer and a wordsmith. Not really, but like I could go there, and then I'm like, I don't even know what the word dork means. And in fairness, like my dad would call my sister and I dorks. Was it? Would he call us or my sisters? I'm not sure. But or no, he would use the word knob. Like when we were just goofing about and he was probably a bit like tired from work or just, not in a supreme mood. My sister and I were being annoying. He'd be like, knock it off. Stop being knobs. What does knob mean? Isn't a knob like a thing? Anyway, or I'm pretty sure he'd be like, stop being dorks. Like socially inept, because in fairness, at that time we probably were like poking each other and giggling hysterically in church. Dad was just like, stop being a knob. Oh, a penis. Hello. So no, maybe he did say dork. But at this stage, I'd be like, I don't even know what any of them are mean anymore. A knob, that is, right? Of course. Let me turn that knob on. Oh, for sure, for sure. That's where we get lost in translation, Ox, isn't it? That's part of the great deception is that words have multiple meanings. So the only way we really communicate with one another is heart to heart. The only true, I would say, equanimity in exchange has to do with dialogue. Hence, most of us are more like not most of us, but or my point of attraction, my perspective, blah blah, is the fact that we have to undo the mind program, which is of course connected to the emotional field. It's but getting tripped up in words, getting tripped up in the addiction to knowing or being right or blah blah is a huge like sticky spot, I'd say. And that's someone like me. I'd rather feel my emotions, sit in silence, and meditate and relax, and not talk as much, especially because I do it for a living. You know. Ah, thank you, Ronell. Oh, you guys are just the frick of it. And this is an ownership of recognition. Like I just like the sound of the word dork. It's a great word, dork. And so you're correct. I get it. It means what I want it to mean. And I think you guys feel it as well. I'm happy to be a dork. That's okay. I mean, again, it's a vibrational intent. So we could be any number of things and change the meaning. However, we have to link it. This is something about the reprogramming as well. Like coming up with the perfect pickup line, totally. What is this? Well, nerdiness was my primary definition too, but I've always been aware that it's a whale's penis. I have never, ever been aware of that. So thank you. You guys teach me new things every day, and I'm so grateful. People would only pass on knowledge in person as too much is lost if you only write it down. Totally. Well, yes, of course. This is the ancient in the teachings, and there again in our culture, we don't. It's like the Abraham teachings. Words don't teach, vibration does. We only teach by being it. The ancestral lineage was effectively taught because they lived their teachings, right? So the part of the multi-layered distortion of our current or old paradigm is the fact that the kind of base tone humanity construct via the perception of separation is an illusion of separation. So nobody knows who they are. So how can anybody really teach each other if we don't know who we are? We're just regurgitating fucking rhetoric. We're just regurgitating other people's truths from whenever, and we're not living it. People like we talk about here are circles of privilege or our circles of spiritual love light bubbles, where it's all like, let's get around and talk about being special spiritual people, but then go back to not living it, right? And those of us endeavoring to live it are like, holy fucking shit, this is cray cray, right? Is anyone else in the deeps here wondering like how, right? And so, yeah, cock-a-doodle doo. That sounds like something I would say. Like, um, sometimes I say oopsie daisy as well, which I think in this country people are like, oh, that's cute. We never say that. Oopsie daisy. um, Ronel. Oh, yes. What's TMI? Hey, Jennifer. Lovely to see you. She always called me a dork, but I said I'm your dork. That's right. That's right. So true that when often if we're saying stuff about other, we're like talking about ourselves, right? I just am having a mind blow of like, but like Ronel's comment, how is being called a giant whale penis capable of orgasm? And it's so you guys, it's true. It's like I have a giant piece here, which means my orgasms are absolutely earth shattering. Like that's the dork of all. Is that my dorky essence is orgasmic. Hello. Scott Zetzel's in the house, my lover. And at 3:33 in the morning. At 3:33 in the morning. So I mentioned to some of you guys, like I was up really late last night. Amazing reason. I like stayed awake until 1:30 chatting to the new roommate. about Oliver, like stirring up um another lover that yeah, there's still, I guess, like chords or like stuff kind of there. So I get a bit teary eyed because I adore. When the sun comes up, bright and beaming, guys, the sun's out. Well, actually, the sun's not really out. It looks a bit overcast out there, but let's get some bright day shine in there. Plus, I have a yoga session with a client in about an hour, so I'm gonna shoot skis. I'm gonna be a dork all day long today. Socially inept. Yep. Social distance. What could I could do that. That's the whole world is being a dork. So, we're good. It's fine. Adorable. God. It's true. That for some reason just spun me into spank it. Is it worth it? We're gonna spank it, flip it, and reverse it. We're gonna bump, 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 bump. Yeah. So I'm gonna possibly. Well, I have a yoga sesh, and then I might get around to the yoga crew. But I'm averaging about 2 to 3 yoga sessions a week with the yoga crew, varying sort of between 10, 20 minute little intuitive sessions, and then longer 45-minute to hour sessions. So I think the yoga crew playlist now has about 25 different videos, including long meditation sessions, relaxation sessions, and then different intuitive movement and me just being a dork, basically, but sharing some of the juicy tools from the yoga trainings. You know what I mean? And ultimately intuitive yogic um inspiration and divine guidance, because it's not like at this point I haven't read yoga books for a good while. So everything that I share is totally intuitive. So it's coming from the heart love. Um and people are gonna dig on it. So spank it, twerk it. Spank it, twerk it. Oh yeah, we have a beautiful songstress in our community who is likely to join us on our retreat to do some singing, because Mark cleverly was like, we should do some singing activities at the your new song. I know, John Beatty. What did I just say? Spank it, twerk it. There's got to be more to it. I'll figure out. I'll see if I can noodle out like a chorus there, John Beanie. um, you guys are just the best, and I see I have a massage you. Um, I'm out. I love you guys. I love that you show up here. It fills my heart with even more joy. I'm really, really appreciative. Uh, um, oh, that's time to close the live share because the words aren't coming out. Uh, but yeah, I really, really, it means everything that you guys show up and support the Mish by being here, by loving yourself, and by buying stuff that I sell. So if you want to continue to help out and support the Alta Love Mish, go to Alta Love and just have a peruse and check out my services and products created from the heart love vibration. Please make the world a better place for everybody. You are natural, you are connected, your dorkness is humanness. Holla! Right, because it's like fair enough. If I'm a dork, we're all but be a dork. If we're all divine and awesome, we're all divine and awesome. Yes, Andy P. Dork out. I love you guys. Have such a beautiful day. Have a great sleep wherever you be. I love you. Peace, love, snake farts, and dork out, everyone. I'll see you guys. I'll be back Sunday. I'll do the weekly readings, and also I'm gonna start the monthly readings for May. So I'll see you guys real soon. Have a great weekend and can't wait to see it. And by the way, so the new schedule is like Monday is dedicated to the Live Share Crew private membership platform where we get to chat and laugh, but in a more intimate where this isn't just live stuff and get topic discussion points. And then Tuesday to Friday, I'll be here with all y'all lovers doing some tarot and just life chat, energy update, talking about dorks, orgasms, and all of the important spiritual matters. And then Saturday, I endeavor to take a day off. And then Sundays, I usually go unlisted and just do some of the readings and possibly go live. You guys know I like sometimes I can't stop myself. So go and enjoy your bodies by masturbating and having orgasms, all you dorks. And regardless, just keep loving yourself unconditioned because you can't rely on other people to do it for you, okay? You just gotta love yourself and then hope for the best. And buy my book. I love you guys. Have an awesome day. Dork out. And oh God, you fill me with so much joy. I'm so blessed. Awesome, you guys. I'll see you Sunday, if not sooner. Peace out.